Hello and welcome. So today we're going to be looking at several fragrances that are brand new releases for 2024 and that I think are perfect for the spring season. They're actually good for spring and summer, but I think that they're really perfect for spring. Everything from the bottle to the juice to the notes, but we'll talk more about that. I also have some fragrance oils that I think you'll find rather interesting. We'll also talk more about that. And of course, as you all know, today is the day where we announce the 5K giveaway winners. I will be announcing both of them right after the intro. But before we jump right in, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi. And in this channel, we love to talk about fragrances because we love to smell fabulous at all times. I upload videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, and sometimes I even have a bonus video of the week for you. If that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to jump right in to the 5K giveaway winners announcement. But before I show you who the winners are, I just wanted to remind you that if you are one of the winners, I'm just going to need you to DM me on Instagram so that you can give me all of your Cash App information. I also want to remind you of the prizes. Each winner will receive a $50 cash deposit via Cash App. But also remember, this giveaway was limited to US residents only. So let's go ahead and see who the winners are. Good luck. Congratulations if you are one of the winners. And for the rest of the fam, this is just the first of many giveaways to come. So I'm sure you will all have an opportunity to win very soon. Let's jump into these fragrances. So like I said in the intro, with spring 2024 approaching, I'm like in the mood for some new fragrances. So I've been trying different fragrances and trying to see how I feel about them. Do I want to make them a part of my permanent collection? Do I not like them? So today I'm going to share with you 3 fragrances, and these are all 2024 releases. The first one that I want to share with you today is Marc Jacobs Daisy Wild. So here are the notes for Daisy Wild. Now in this diagram, consider that the size of each note represents the degree of dominance it has within the complete notes structure of the fragrance. So where a note picture appears a little larger, that means that to my nose, I pick up on that note much more than others that are not as big within the diagram. Isn't this an adorable bottle? Oh my goodness. I saw it and it just made me very, very happy. So let me show you. So here is the bottle. And as you can see inside the bottle, you see like stems from each flower. Just very different. Very beautiful. Right, so I've had the opportunity to use this fragrance for a full day and a half test. Typically, I like to do like 8 hours and then do like a full day test. And this fragrance is very, very interesting. But let's talk more about it. So this is a 2024 launch, and when I first picked it up, I did sniff it in store and I did like it immediately. It wasn't like a crazy love, but I did really, really like it. And I just figured, you know what, let me pick it up and give it a try. So let's talk about what I found during testing. Something I forgot to mention when I was showing you the bottle is that the cap of the bottle is supposed to be like a bouquet of wild flowers. And of course, like I said before, then the stems inside the juice. So this fragrance to my nose opens up very, very fruity. And this fragrance, as you saw in the notes that I share, has a note of banana flower. I am not familiar with banana flower. I have sniffed banana leaves, you know, like the banana plant leaves, and of course banana, but I'm not definitely familiar with banana flower. What I can also tell you is that even though it does open quite fruity for me, I'm not picking up on a note of banana or banana leaf. Curiously enough, what my nose is getting is pear. Definitely pear. But all in all, this is really, really beautiful. It opens very fruity and it has some white florals immediately. It is woody, a tad woody. It is green, but it's not one of those obnoxious green fragrances. This is a really beautiful green fragrance. And there's like a nutty quality to it and a bit of earthiness, but I think that earthiness comes from that green note. So although we have that note structure that I shared with you and that opening that doesn't give me necessarily banana leaf, which I'm familiar with, or banana itself, it's supposed to be banana flower, but what I'm really getting is like a very strong pear note in the opening. Right? Even though I am getting all that, there is that nutty quality and it is from the macadamia nut. And then I'm also getting some earthiness and I'm really thinking that there are some green notes here that have not really been disclaimed. And then I am getting at the dry down that beautiful creaminess of sandalwood that's wrapped around that like macadamia nut note. And then there's some vetiver. All in all, my initial experience with this fragrance is that this is a very lovely fragrance. The problem is not if the fragrance smells good or not. The problem is in performance. So let's talk about performance. So this fragrance does give me right now moderate sillage and projection, but I only get 5 hours from this fragrance. If I overspray, it could be up to 6 hours, but it's really a solid 5 hours. And at the 5 hour mark, it becomes a skin scent. Around the 3 hour mark, it becomes a little scent bubble. But it's like the scent bubble quickly starts to taper down until it becomes that skin scent around hour 5. This is a totally feminine fragrance. This is not unisex whatsoever. And this is a fragrance that I definitely see myself using during the spring, summer, and fall seasons. During the spring and summer, I would say for any daytime and early evening occasion. And I would say for casual, informal, smart casual, but never a formal occasion. I just don't see myself wearing this fragrance for any formal occasion during the spring or summer seasons. And then specific to the fall, I would recommend it for the beginning of the fall, but not when it's really starting to get really cold. As far as the feel that I get from this fragrance is all about fun. So you look at this bottle and you're probably wondering, okay, Arahi, isn't that a fragrance like for like a younger person? No, I really think that this is a fragrance that anybody can pull off. Any female can pull this off. And the feel that I get when I wear this fragrance is like, you know, she's like in a convertible, it's spring, you know, the sun is out, it's beautiful, the flowers are blooming everywhere, you can smell the cutting of the grass outside. It is just absolutely beautiful. And she is driving in her convertible with like a scarf over her head to make sure her hair is impeccable whenever she arrives where she's going. This is a fragrance that openly invites you to enjoy the spring season. That's what I get from this fragrance. Yet this fragrance is not giving me like a mature or a younger person. It's just saying, welcome spring. I do recommend this fragrance and I really, really like this fragrance. My only concern is that longevity. If that is a problem for you, then this would definitely not be a wise choice to pick up. But other than that, it does smell quite lovely. For me, I think that it is a very nice fragrance, and honestly, I'll just decant a little bit of it and bring it in my purse wherever I go. All right, so next I want to talk about some fragranced oils that I just discovered not too long ago. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand that this video and no part of this video has been sponsored, but Lador Oil so graciously sent me a box with a sample of all of their oils. And of course, I'm just going to give you my very honest thoughts. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about Lador Oils and what is it that they do. So the company name is Lador Oil Niche Perfumes. They have been around for about 5 years at this point, and they are based out of Dubai. although all of the ingredients that they use for their oils and perfumes are sourced out of Switzerland. They have fragrances, but they also have perfumed oils. What I find interesting about their oils is that you can use them in so many different ways, and I'm going to show you in a minute. But you can like apply them directly to your skin, or you can use them and mix them and create your own fragrances, or take a combination of several of their oils and then buy some ethanol and then just create your own fragrance. So let me show you. So the samples come in this box, and look how nice. It comes in like this circle where like all the little bottles don't just come out. But let me give you some examples. So here is one of the little samples of the perfumed oils, and this one is called Tuxedo. And you know, Tuxedo YSL. So here's the thing that I love about this. Oh my goodness. What I love about this concept is that, for example, so this is like YSL Tuxedo. And if I use this oil as the base, so this basically has the base formulation that was used for Tuxedo, like, you know, like a combination that gives you that type of scent profile. So if you use this oil, if you have Tuxedo, the fragrance, and you love it, and you pick up this oil and you apply it on your wrist and then you spray Tuxedo, it's going to take that fragrance to the next level. It will become beast mode. And it is, I tell you, these oils are so powerful. They really are beast mode. I just put that one on that wrist and I can sniff it clearly, and it will be there for hours and hours at a time. And guys, I am not lying. You can just try like one of these oils and you will see exactly what I mean. But in this box that they sent me, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is that box that they have that you can order just to sample their oils. Let me give you an idea of some of the fragranced oils that they sent me, because this is really interesting. So this one is Good Girl. You know, Good Girl. And let's see. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my God, but this is so strong. They're really strong, and they stay on my skin for hours and hours at a time. The other day I tested the Baccarat Rouge one, which I have it right here also. And that one, guys, it was like a 12-hour, and still I had to like scrub it off because I had to test another fragrance. Others that they sent me are Vapura, Baccarat Rouge, J'adore, Chanel No. 5, and all of those are part of that 10 samples box. And the good news is, guys, that they also gave me a discount code that you can apply at checkout to your order to get a discount. And I will leave the information for that code in the description box along with their website, so that you can just go and check them out and maybe like pick up one and see what I am telling you. Oh my goodness, they smell exactly the same. And to be honest with you, what is blowing me away is the longevity, which tells me that these are very purely done products. So the next fragrance that I want to share with you today is Marc Jacobs Daisy Love Pop. So this fragrance, guys, and look at this bottle. Isn't that cute? It is very cute. So, and I forgot to tell you, so this one only comes in a 50 ml, and I did pick up the 100 ml in the Daisy Wild, but that one also comes in 50 ml, but this one only comes in this size. And this is, by the way, this one is also limited edition. And I picked this one up because I really love the note of pistachio, and I'm just hooked on the note of pistachio lately. And when I saw that note, I had to definitely try this fragrance. So I picked it up. And let me talk to you though about that note. So this fragrance to me is like a sweet floral fragrance with a light touch of gourmand. This is not a full-on gourmand fragrance by any means. It does have that pistachio, and the pistachio to my nose is a pretty dominant note in this fragrance. But truly, this is really a floral fragrance with like a twist of a gourmand quality to it. So this fragrance, kind of like in Daisy Wild, right? So in Daisy Wild, they had that banana flower note. Well, in this one, they have an even more rare note. It's called cloudberry, and it's supposed to be a fruit. And I did some research on it because I had never even, to be honest with you, heard about it. And of course, I don't know what it smells like. What I can tell you is that this fragrance opens up for me quite fruity and with that lingering pistachio from the beginning. In this fragrance, I get that pistachio from the opening to the dry down for sure. So it opens up, like I said, with all that fruitiness. And to me, it doesn't smell like a mix of fruits. I just know that this is definitely very fruity. And it has that pistachio in the background. The pistachio hasn't really intensified in the opening. No, I'm getting that fruitiness, and then I'm getting the pistachio in the background. Then it quickly transitions and starts to become like a nutty, creamy, kind of fruity kind of fragrance. With that creaminess, I get like that lactonic quality. And I think it's because of that note of like the whipped cream. I mean, it is really not very lactonic, but you definitely pick up on that lactonic note, which adds to that gourmand quality. So now you're midway towards your dry down, and what I am getting is like a little bit of the vanilla in the background. I'm getting that creaminess with the nuttiness and that pistachio, which does not let go. And then the musk is definitely present. So now I understand that it's a musky fragrance with that gourmand quality, and the vanilla starts to come in. So if you ask me, does this pistachio note compare to like a Kayali Yum pistachio or Kahir from the Middle Eastern fragrances, or any of the other pistachios like pistache or any other pistachio fragrance that I have in my collection where the pistachio is dominant? No, the pistachio is present in this fragrance from first spray to dry down, right? And all throughout the wear of the fragrance, I pick up pistachio. But the pistachio, although present, is not always dominant. It has moments within the olfactory journey where I pick it up more than the other notes, but it's never quite dominant, which to me speaks of a very well blended fragrance. But let's talk more about that. This fragrance to me is very interesting because at the dry down, I get the vanilla clearly, but the vanilla is not dominant at all. It's like you get the vanilla, you get a little bit of sweetness, you get a little bit of fruit. The fruit is now faint in the background. The vanilla is also faint, but not in the background. It's like a bit more intense than the fruity notes. And then you get that creaminess and nuttiness, and then you get that muskiness. And that's your dry down. And at the dry down, you get a very different fragrance than that you get in the opening. It is quite different. So if you get your nose on this fragrance, I would not blind buy this one. I would get my nose on it if you're interested because of that note of pistachio, or because you're just interested in general. I would definitely get your nose on this fragrance because this is not a safe blind buy. You definitely have to spray it on your skin so that you can see what you're going to get at the dry down, and is that something that you're really liking. So different than Daisy Wild, I would say that this one is a fragrance that I would use day and night during the spring and summer seasons. Would I use this fragrance for a black tie event? No, not really, because, if I am going to a formal event, I really don't, then that's just me personally. I really don't want to have that gourmandish kind of vibe and feel. I want a fragrance that speaks to elegance and, sophistication and just a different feel for that formal occasion. Maybe like a sexy or a sensually alluring type of fragrance. That's what I like for a formal occasion. So I would not use this fragrance for a formal occasion. But for any casual daytime, night, evening, this is perfect for the spring, summer, and fall seasons, because this one is less springy. if that's even a word. It's less springy and summery in my opinion than Daisy Wild. The only issue that I have with this fragrance, I really do enjoy the scent profile of this fragrance, even though it is quite different. And for me, I think it's because I'm not familiar with that note of cloudberry. So with this fragrance, I only get 3 hours, and that's what was a bit disappointing for me. You know, I do get moderate sillage and I do get moderate projection, but I only really get 3 hours, and I even tried overspraying. But you're only going to get 3 hours, and that's applying it on skin, applying it on your clothes. It's just kind of weak that way. So you would have to have a decant with you at all times and continue to respray. With Daisy Wild, yes, I only, get 5 hours, but still there is a lingering skin scent after the 5 hour mark, and then you just respray with a decant. But with Pop, you're just going to get 3 hours, and then the fragrance is literally like gone. So all in all, I think that this is a very lovely fragrance, and I think that it's also very interesting and very different because it brings a fruitiness that you're not going to be necessarily familiar with unless you know that fruit of cloudberry. I pick up on the fruitiness, but I can't really distinguish what fruits because probably I've never smelled that, right? And I also like the way that they did the pistachio in the opening. The opening of this fragrance is just glorious. The dry down is something that I really think that you have to try this fragrance and try it on your skin and see if you like the dry down. It's not that it's not nice, but it's just rather different. And I think it's because of that note of cloudberry. The other thing is that, the performance in this fragrance does leave quite a bit to be desired. And it is a limited edition fragrance. And do I recommend it? I don't know that I would really recommend this fragrance. I really think that you need to try it on your skin and determine how you personally feel about it. I think that to pay what this fragrance costs for, a 3 hour longevity, it's just a bit much. Okay, so now we are at the last fragrance that I have for you today, and I'm just gonna spoil it right here and tell you that I am absolutely in love with this fragrance. And this is Valentino Donna Born in Roma Green Stravaganza. So let me tell you, I was at the mall and I passed by the counter of one of the stores, and they had the fragrance there. And, I knew that it had come out. I knew that I would probably be interested in it, but it's not like I was in the mood for spraying fragrances that day. But I said, you know what, you're here. Instead of just blind buying it, because I was going to blind buy it, why don't you just spray it and see if you even like it? Maybe you don't even pick it up, right? Maybe you don't even buy it. I sprayed it. Guys, I know that not everybody's going to agree, but I'm going to tell you right now that I absolutely love this fragrance. I think this fragrance, I have, I think like 3 others from this entire collection. And, I have the Pink PP that was released late last year. And I have the Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense, which I absolutely love. But this one, the DNA in this one, that Donna Born in Roma DNA, I'm not picking up on that DNA in this fragrance. So as you could see from the notes diagram that I just shared with you, the most dominant note in this fragrance, and that is exactly what I get, is that tea note. Oh my goodness, that tea note dominates. But let me tell you what I find fascinating. So Carolina Herrera has a fragrance called Mad World. And that fragrance has that exact same tea note. And I decluttered that fragrance because I did not like the way that they did that tea note. But it's not the tea note itself, right? It's the combination in that fragrance of that tea note with osmanthus. I just could not wrap my head around it. I just could not. So I ended up decluttering it. But in this fragrance, oh my goodness, what a difference. This is just done exceptionally. So this fragrance opens up to my nose. Oh my goodness. It opens up with that very dominant tea note, but the tea note is paired with the jasmine. And when I say paired, they are paired. One does not stick out or lead the other. No, they are just perfectly blended, both the tea note and the jasmine. And then almost immediately, the vanilla starts to seep in. And that vanilla brings sweetness to the fragrance, because in the opening, I don't immediately get that sweetness. I get like a very balanced fragrance with that very beautiful tea note and the jasmine. But then when that vanilla starts to come in, I can clearly pick up on the vanilla coming in and bringing that sweetness that just takes the fragrance to the next level. This fragrance is not very sweet. It is just right. To my nose, I'm going to tell you right now, there is nothing out of balance or screechy or screaming or out of line within the note structure of this fragrance. So although this fragrance doesn't have like a whole lot of notes, you would think, well, Arahi, is this fragrance kind of linear because it only has like 3 or 4 notes? But it's not. That's why I'm telling you, it's been done beautifully. There is something about this fragrance, that entire journey. I don't get the same thing in the opening that I get in the middle of the olfactory journey and then at the dry down. So at the dry down, I do get like the complete blend of all of those notes, but sitting on a powdery dry down, which then just will drive you crazy. If you are into tea note fragrances, you are going to love this fragrance. If you are not into tea note fragrances, if that's not your thing, you are not going to like this fragrance, so don't even bother. But if you love a beautifully done tea note fragrance with a little bit of white florals and just the right amount of vanilla on a powdery base, you are going to go head over heels for this fragrance, because that's exactly what it is. If I had to speak of the feel of this fragrance, I can tell you that compared to the 2 Marc Jacobs fragrances, compared to the 2 Marc Jacobs fragrances that, we discussed earlier, Daisy Wild and the small pop one, this fragrance is definitely more mature. Am I saying that this is not to be used by someone who's really young, like in their 20s or 30s? No. This can be used by anybody. I'm just saying that this is a more robust and mature and elaborate type of fragrance. There's nothing light and flirty about this fragrance. This is not a fragrance that I would use for a formal occasion, though, for the spring and summer seasons, but it is definitely one that I would pull for just about everything else. Is this a fragrance that I would use during the fall? Absolutely not, right? Isn't it interesting? Because the Daisy Pop, I told you that I would pull it for the fall. Not this one. Even though this is a more robust and mature type of scent profile, this is not one that I would pull during the fall. I think this is exclusively for spring and summer, and definitely for day and evening occasions that are not formal. Would I wear this to a daytime spring wedding? Yes. Would I wear this for Mother's Day? Perfection. Would I wear this to Easter? Oh my goodness, you cannot go wrong if you do that. This fragrance is perfect for those occasions. Is this a safe blind buy? This is a safe blind buy as long as you like tea note fragrances. If you like tea note fragrances, you are going to love this fragrance. So with this fragrance, I get a solid 6 hours before it becomes a skin scent. And let me tell you, even after that 6-hour mark, I get whiffs continuously all day long. Like I'll put it in my wrist, not even behind my ears. I'll just put it on my wrist and then I'll get that whiff all throughout the day. This is not a beast mode fragrance, but if you overspray it, you will extend that longevity of 6 hours that I talked about. Needless to say, this is to me not a unisex fragrance at all. This is a feminine fragrance designed to convey a feel of understated elegance during the spring and summer seasons. If you are wearing a white dress for spring or summer for any occasion, whether it be casual informal type of white summery dress, or you are going to any type of semi-formal event, during the day or early evening, and you're wearing like a beautiful white flowy dress, this is the fragrance. If you're wearing, a beautiful sundress that has a whole bunch of flowers on it, or some pattern that you absolutely love with all of those spring colors, this is the fragrance. If you're wearing that like kind of minty green type of dress for the Easter holiday events, or anything that you're doing around Easter, if you're wearing jeans and you're wearing, just a white shirt and you're wearing some sneaker, this is the fragrance. This is the fragrance. This is, to me, definitely spring and summer in a bottle. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of today's video, and I hope that this was quite enjoyable for you. Please let me know if you tried any of these fragrances, and if you haven't and you do get your nose on them before you pick them up, please let me know your thoughts. I am very curious, especially with that Valentino one, because I really, really do love it. Also, remember to just check it out. Take a look at the Lador Oil's website. I will have all the information for you in the description box. And please, if any of you try any of their samples, or you order one of their oils or one of their fragrances, please let me know your thoughts, especially on the fragrances, because I've never tried them. I just have the oils that they sent me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging with me today, and welcome to all of our new fragrance loving family members. Welcome. And to the rest of you, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.